But our top focus remains the government's crackdown against black money and the panic and confusion that has set in, because after a one-day break, banks reopened today to long queues of people wanting to exchange their 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Some amount of chaos and confusion was reported from several parts of the country. Many banks, though, had got their act together. The government assuring consumers that it will resolve the situation soon. Security outside banks has been strengthened. The staff is working extra hours to cater to the heavy rush. Four big developments that we want to tell you today. Banks have reopened, as we said, after a one-day break. New 500 and 1,000 rupee notes are now being introduced. Income tax raids in Delhi, Mumbai and other cities against hoarders. The new notes with extra security features will come up in a few months. Take a look at what was happening across the country today.
I'm holding the 2,000 rupee note that has been much awaited in the past 2 days. You know, people have been waiting in line for hours to get their hands on it, and the new note has some certain new features. Number one is the fact that it has the numeric of the note written in ascending order. As you can see, the size of the numeric keeps getting bigger. At the bottom of it is 2,000 rupees written in Devanagari. Mahatma Gandhi on one side of the note, his image right in the center. Over here is a line made of green color, but it changes to blue as you change the angle of the note against the light. Over here you have 2,000 rupee note written, and it has a little accession to it. You can feel a little bump as you touch it. The new note also has certain black lines slashed across the note. On the back side of the note, you have Mangalyan. On one side of the note there's Mahatma Gandhi, on the other there's Mangalyan. And also the very famous Swachh Bharat logo.
From serpentine queues to selfies with the new 2,000 rupee notes, the reactions to Modi's masterstroke are varied.
These are new notes, fresh notes, and today is the very first day it's come in. Would you spend these notes or would you keep them?
No, I'll go to keep it for today, because I've just taken a photograph and sent it to my son. So I'm very happy about it. But I tried getting 500 notes, but the 500 notes have not come to the bank as yet.
In Mumbai, the long queues outside the RBI dissuaded many.
After standing almost 2 hours in a queue, Mr. Jadhav, who's standing with me, didn't get money because he was not allowed to withdraw the money. Let's go across to him. Let's ask him what exactly happened at SBI branch. जादव साहब, मुझे बताइए कि आप पैसे निकालने गए थे आज?
भरने भी गए थे और निकालने का भी हमको था. हमारा जो पेंशन है ना, वो हमको निकालने का था.
तो आप जब निकालने के लिए गए पैसे वहाँ पे, तो उन्होंने क्या कहा आपको?
वो काउंटर पे हमको बोला कि अभी भीड़ है, तो अभी आपको नहीं मिलेगा और पैसा भी हमारे पास नहीं है. शनिचर नहीं तो संडे को आके आप निकाल लो.
In Chennai, a tourist travelling with his family lucked out with a currency exchange.
I'm outside the Reserve Bank of India in Chennai, and there's a huge crowd here, and also here are a few foreigners who've come and exchanged their foreign currencies. Sir, how difficult was the process for you?
It was not difficult. We come here and we ask, please, can help, if somebody can help us, and they help us.
In Bengaluru, residents found it difficult to get the new 2,000 rupee note.
We are now at the General Post Office in Bengaluru, where it opened at 10 o'clock and work should have begun. However, there are slight problems over here. Some people have come to deposit their 500 and 1,000 notes, while others have come to exchange their notes, but they are all facing problems. Now, Sridhar over here has actually come to exchange his notes, but they tell him that he can't do that now. What's the reason they are giving you?
He's stealing for 11 o'clock, sir.
Okay.
Then he will change the money. Still he want to wait.
Okay. But they actually told you that to come here at 10 o'clock and they would give you?
Yes, sir. Now he's telling you 12 o'clock and 11 o'clock. He's changing the timings.
In Patna, hospitals refused to accept the 500 and 1,000 rupee old notes.
And despite the government order that hospitals have to accept 500 and 1,000 rupees note till 11th of November, this hospital is clearly violating the rules and also the orders that has been given by the central government. And here a family, a father is waiting with 1,000 and 500 rupees note, almost 90,000 rupees in his hand, just to take the body of his son who has died and whose body is lying inside the hospital.
As the country dips into uncertainty over the new currency regime, the immediate reaction post the big announcement is varied. Bureau Report, India Today.
One of the key institutions that's under pressure are hospitals. Now, the government had said that hospitals, particularly government hospitals, would continue to accept 500 and 1,000 rupee notes till the 11th of November. A lot of hospitals, though, are flouting those norms. Private hospitals, in many cases, are not accepting the rupee notes. And government hospitals, too, are also not addressing the needs of the common man. In Patna, a private hospital even refused to hand over a dead body to a family because they did not have the requisite 100 rupee notes. Take a look.
ये कहाँ लिखा है? आपको तो न्यूज़पेपर दिखा रहे हैं जहाँ लिखा है कि आपको लेना है, प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन को लेना है, उसको फेंकिए, वो कल का है, ये आज का दे रहे हैं आपको, ये न्यूज़पेपर का दे रहे हैं आपको, प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल एंड केमिस्ट टू एक्सेप्ट ऑल नोट्स until November 11th.
These heartbreaking scenes unfolding inside one of the leading hospitals in Patna, where a patient's family is pleading to the cashier to accept their money and give their 26-year-old Dhanu's dead body who died due to dengue. But the hospital is not accepting 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Patna's Paras Hospital has put up a circular saying that it will not accept 500 and 1,000 rupee denominations according to the new government rules.
उनका डिमांड है कि 100 का नोट दें और हमारे पास इतना अरेंज हो नहीं रहा था, जितना अरेंज हुआ हमने कल कर दिया है और ये हमारे पास इतने पैसे हैं और इन्हें देने के बाद भी वो हमें बॉडी नहीं दे रहे हैं.
Ironically, this is in clear deviation from what Prime Minister Modi had announced.
11 नवंबर की रात्रि 12 बजे तक सभी सरकारी अस्पतालों में भुगतान के लिए पुराने 500 या 1000 रुपये के नोट स्वीकार किए जाएंगे. इससे वैसे परिवार जिनमें कोई बीमार है उन्हें उपचार में कोई बाधा ना आए.
Here, a family, a father is waiting with 1,500 rupees note, almost 90,000 rupees in his hand, just to take the body of his son who has died and whose body is lying inside the hospital. But the hospital is simply refusing to budge and not giving back the body. With camera person Sujit Gupta, this is Rohith Singh in Patna for India Today.
So those are some of the ground realities. What about our politicians? Well, opposition leaders, one after the other, are attacking the government, from Mayawati to Kejriwal to Mulayam Singh. Most of them are terming the Narendra Modi government's move as anti-poor. Listen in to what the netas or the opposition netas are saying.
ये प्रतीत होता है कि जिस प्रकार से कांग्रेस पार्टी के जमाने में एक बार पूरे देश भर में राजनीतिक इमरजेंसी लगाई गई थी, तो ठीक उसी प्रकार से अब बीजेपी व श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के शासनकाल में भी अब यहाँ पूरे देश में अघोषित आर्थिक इमरजेंसी लगा दी गई है.
শুধু একটা বিজেপি রাজনৈতিক দলের ফয়দার জন্য, এবং আমার মনে হয় ইউপি ইলেকশন কোন রকম কানেক্টেড আছে ইউপি বিহার, নিজের টাকাটা সরিয়ে রেখে দিয়ে লোকের ঘরে ধস নামিয়েছে. নিশ্চয়ই যদি ট্রান্সপারেন্ট কোনো ব্যবস্থা হয় আমাদের কারো আপত্তি নেই. মনে রাখতে হবে বাড়ি বাড়ি ব্ল্যাক মানি থেকে 15 লাখ টাকা করে এক একজনকে ফেরত দেবো, এটা ইলেকশনের সময় মোদি বাবু বলেছিলেন, অন্য কেউ বলেননি. 15 লাখ টাকা দেওয়া তো দরকার দূরের কথা, যা আছে সেটাও কেড়ে নিচ্ছে.
कई लोगों से मैंने बात की, कल पूरा दिन में खूब इधर उधर बात की, लोगों से घूमा मैं. चारों तरफ लोग कह रहे हैं और इस बात के सबूत हैं कि जी जो इनके अपने लोग थे, जो इनके अपने दोस्त थे, जिनके पास सबसे ज़्यादा काला धन है इस देश के अंदर, इनको इन्होंने पहले से ही बता दिया था, हफ्ता भर पहले. उन्होंने अपना सारा इंतजाम कर लिया है. पैसा बाहर भेज दिया उन्होंने, या उन्होंने ज़मीनें खरीद ली, सोना खरीद लिया. इनके अपने दोस्तों ने सारा इंतजाम कर लिया है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश में चुनाव लड़ने वाली है, इधर चुनाव लड़ने वाली है, उधर चुनाव लड़ने वाली है. उन्होंने अपना इंतजाम कर लिया है. 100 के नोट ले लिए या जो मर्जी, उन्होंने अपना इंतजाम कर लिया है. मर रही है तो आम जनता मर रही है.
मोदी साहब की इस कदम ने अविश्वास पैदा कर दिया, क्योंकि जब कोई भी पारी रकम देने की स्थिति में नहीं होगा तो उसकी अविश्वास पैदा होगा और व्यापार बंद होगा, देश की अर्थव्यवस्था ठप हो जाएगी। और मोदी जी की इस कदम से ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि यह देश को कुछ बड़े घराने के हाथों में गिरवी रखना चाहते हैं।
But the finance minister insists that the scheme will be successful, that the opposition is simply playing politics. He was speaking to our correspondents from India Today, Shweta Singh and Rima Parashar.
कांग्रेस के लोग कि पिछले 70 साल में से अधिकतर पीरियड उन्होंने इस देश में राज किया। एक कदम उठा दीजिए, किसी कांग्रेस की सरकार ने आज तक उठाया हो ब्लैक मनी के खिलाफ। 3 बार चिदम्बरम साहब वित्त मंत्री रहे, एक कदम उन्होंने ब्लैक मनी के खिलाफ उठाया हो। 10 साल में मनमोहन सिंह जी की सरकार रही, एक कदम आपको याद नहीं होगा जो काले धन के खिलाफ उठाया। क्या वो कॉलमिस्ट हैं सिर्फ कि मैं कुछ करूंगा नहीं, दूसरे करेंगे तो उससे कॉलम में टिप्पणी लिखूंगा।
We'll have more on the FM interview at 10 p.m. tonight, but the big question, of course, is what about the opposition to Mr. Modi's move? Is it directed by self-interest or national interest? Is Mr. Modi's move really a master stroke or a Mohammed bin Tughlaq-like move that the Prime Minister has made? Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP, Manish Tiwari, senior leader of the Congress, and Atul Anjan, national secretary of the CPI, are with me on my face-off today. Let me come to you straight, Manish Tiwari. You are the one who has coined this word Mohammed bin Tughlaq for the Prime Minister, which is now being used by all opposition leaders. You are claiming this is a daydream like Tughlaq, who shifted the capital one day from Delhi to Daulatabad and had to eventually reverse all these decisions. Are you being a little unfair to the Prime Minister? Even without allowing the scheme to actually be given a fair chance, you are already calling it a Tughlaq-like dream. Isn't this politics?
Well, Rajdeep, first of all, allow me to thank you for at least crediting me and giving me the patent for that very, very interesting term, the Tughlaqization of demonetization, which I had used. Let me begin by saying that if you look at the history of demonetization across the world, demonetization as a method of trying to tackle the parallel economy has been a complete and abject failure. Even in India's context, in 1978, you had demonetized. You had taken the large currency notes out of circulation. Well, did that prevent the generation of a parallel economy? The answer is no, because if you go by the government's own estimates, they say between 6 lakhs to 13 lakh crores is the size of India's parallel economy. The second reason which is being advanced is that it is supposed to preempt and contain terror financing. In 1978, when demonetization took place, there was no terror in India. It came in 1980 in Punjab, got escalated in 1990 to Kashmir, and then went across the country. So therefore, if demonetization as a method should have worked, then you shouldn't have had these two problems.
Mr. Tiwari, this is not 1978, we are in 2016, sir.
Lives in that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That if demonetization as a strategy, Rajdeep, would have been successful, then the two reasons which have been extended by the government, the raison d'etre for demonetization shouldn't have existed. And number 3, 65% of India lives in rural areas. Agriculture is completely untaxed. Most of the transactions in rural areas between farmers and arthias, between small consumers and small shopkeepers are done in cash. So therefore, this fundamental equivalence which this government has tried to establish, that cash means black money, is basically a flawed concept. You do not have universal banking coverage in this country. Credit cards, debit cards are at best an urban phenomena. All the vignettes that you showed, before you started this debate are actually from urban India, which is also reeling under the menace of this move of demonetization. Things in rural India are far, far worse.
Just hold on. You're making several points at one go. I'll come to your 1978 parallel with 2016 in a moment. But Nalin Kohli, respond to that one point. That this black money scheme in itself, if it is designed to weed out black money, the fear is in a couple of months, new black money assets will be in place with the 2,000 rupee notes. Unless you change laws, regulation, nothing's going to change. You can, for 2 months, claim that you're bringing in liquidity into the banks, but after 2 months it will be business as usual. The question is this simply yet another attempt by the Prime Minister at event management, the so-called surgical strike on the economy? And according to Manish Tiwari, in rural India in particular, where 21% of the population is unbanked, this proposal by the Prime Minister is a recipe for chaos.
This is going to take some time because Mr. Tiwari has made many allegations, not unexpectedly.
Yes.
But I mean, you obviously expect me to answer them because I'm sure you would like to know what is our point of view.
Sure.
So let's go one by one. First of all, this is fear-mongering coming from a party which is, in my opinion, the progenitor, absolutely the cause, the source of every black money issue that India is grappling in 2016. Because 55 years they have ruled and we've seen the biggest scams in the Congress regime. Every time, every government, it doesn't matter who the Prime Minister was, from the Jeep scam of 1948 to 2G and Colgate and what you say, under Manmohan Singh, Sonia Gandhi combined. Second is, what have they done? They always do the politics on the name of the poor, what for the poor. Why could bank accounts not be opened in 40 years? How is it that 25 million, 250 million, 25 crore bank accounts have been opened in a year and a half under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana? If it could be done in a year and a half when Prime Minister Modi announced it, they couldn't have been done in 40 years when nationalization was announced to the banks in 1971, 72 or whatever. So essentially, this is political posturing. And if we look at it, you have spoken about a whole series of leaders who have said each one of them may not be considered icons of economic thinking. Mayawati's models are built, well, large statues, including bringing the handbag to the statue, which is the new addition in modern sculpture. Mulayam Singh ji has faced disproportionate asset cases. They continue. We know what the economy of Uttar Pradesh is under the two of them. The left parties have not got an economic model anywhere in the world. What about India? They are criticizing it. And the Congress party has always had, yes, we thought about it after it is implemented by someone else. So I ask myself this question, why are they fear-mongering? What is their interest to send a panic message in India?
Quick response, Manish
It's
Tiwari.
only to make sure somehow you can expand this scheme and kill the time of ensuring that the black money with the hoarders, the black money with those who have criminal syndicates and those who have looted India somehow can come back into the system. Give us advance notice. So you have a scheme to kill black money. You have a scheme on which I can, and if you find the problems, there are equal amount of number of tweets or reports coming about people welcoming it.
Mr. Kohli, just a minute. Mr. Kohli, you know, I raised the question of rural India. You want to quickly respond to that and then I'll get Manish Tiwari. In rural India, those who do not have access to bank accounts today.
Let's go one by one. The demonetization essentially means you can't tender it in the market. But you can till the 30th of December go ahead and deposit it in the bank. Farmers are not income tax liable. They can go and deposit it instead of keeping, as Mr. Jaitley says, the stash at home. Go and deposit it in the banks. Bank accounts have been opened, 25 million. If others want to open it, there is no restriction on that. So therefore, I think this is fear-mongering so that somewhere, in my opinion, beyond a political cause, there's a concern of an unholy reason. And I don't know what. They'll have to explain it.
Let me now ask Manish Tiwari that. Manish Tiwari, before I go to Atul Anjan, I want to ask you this. Fear-mongering. The Congress party has ruled India for much of the last 70 years. Now you are raising all these fears that this scheme will only result in another new black money scheme emerging, that this scheme will inconvenience the public. And this is because many Congress leaders over the years have benefited from this parallel economy. Let's make no bones about it. The non-transparent political system in terms of elections is partly the Congress's contribution to this country.
Well, Rajdeep, Bangaru Lakshman was not the president of the Congress.
And he went to jail.
Bangaru Lakshman was the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party who was caught on candid camera with his hand in the till. The coffin scam was not the doing of the Congress party. the disinvestment of PSUs, where state assets were sold
So let's
for a
not make
song
this about
to
one
preferred
person's corruption
oligarchs
against the other.
of the government
let's
at that
not make
point
it
in
about
time
your corruption
was not
versus
something
BJP.
which was
The
done by the
political
Congress
system is
party.
broken.
And I can
Our
go on
political
chapter
system
and
is
verse
corrupted.
from Mr. Lalit Modi to Vyapam, etc., etc. So therefore, Rajdeep, before Nalin Kohli starts hurling those completely baseless accusations and insinuations, they should look at their own face in the mirror. And number two, as I was earlier pointing out, let Mr. Nalin Kohli give one single instance from the economic history of the world. He's a very great economic thinker, where demonetization as an antidote to parallel economy has succeeded. And the answer is no, it has not succeeded. And number three, he was asking as to what the Congress party has done. Well, it is the Congress party which put in place the entire infrastructure of taxation, exchange information agreements, dual tax avoidance agreements, which they were not able to harvest. They talked about 1,25,000 crores of Indian money stashed away in foreign banks. They promised to bring it back in 100 days. They promised to deposit it at the rate of 15 lakhs in everybody's bank account. What happened to all those promises? So order to subterfuge, in order to actually throw black ink over their own failures, you know, they've come up with this harebrained scheme which absolutely has shipwrecked the Indian economy. For the last 36 hours, the wheels of the Indian economy have stopped turning. So, poor people who should have been going and earning their wage are standing in line to get that 500 rupee note so that their children can eat a meal at night. Is this the way governance is done in this country?
Can I just hold on and come to just a minute, Mr. Kohli, Mr. Kohli, I'll let you address. Let me come to Atul Anjan. No, just a minute. Sir, just a minute. I will let you answer those charges, but Mr. Atul Anjan, what I find... No. Mr. Kohli, I will let you address every charge. Mr. Kohli, I will let you address every charge. I have a third guest. Just a minute, sir.
But Mr. Sardesai,
Mr. Kohli, I will be fair to you, I promise you. That is my assurance.
But it's the loss of the viewer losing the advantage of something taking place one after the other.
Sir, just a minute, sir.
As long as Mr. Anjan speaks, I'm only insisting for a reason.
Sir, just a minute, sir.
Please.
Mr. Kohli, just hold on. 30 seconds. Mr. Anjan has been very patiently listening. He's a senior leader. Mr. Anjan, I just want to ask you one thing. You're listening to the Congress and the BJP. What I find interesting is today even the left parties have come out against it, whether it's your government in Kerala, whether it's Sitaram Yechuri. Mr. Kejriwal of the Aam Aadmi Party is making allegations that the black money has already been, that this scheme was informed to people close to the BJP in advance without providing any proof as yet of that. Mr. Mulayam Singh and Ms. Mayawati, both of whom have serious disproportionate assets cases against them, are complaining about it. Why are those, how can those whose hands are not clean themselves start complaining about this, the Mayawatis and Mulayams? And why is the left, which has always spoken against black money, now also crying foul, sir?
Mr. Rajdeep ji, you have raised many important questions, and I was listening the debate. The whole question is this: now people are talking about the bank, it's working and all that. All of a sudden I found too much love for the banks by the finance minister. But I just want to remind your viewers, who were, when the nationalization of bank took place in 1969, who were the people who opposed it? It was the Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee as the leader of the Bharatiya Janasangh, and the president of then Bharatiya Janasangh, Balraj Madhok, late Balraj Madhok, went to the Supreme Court opposing the nationalization of banks. And 3 months, you see, 3 months there was a discussion, and finally, on behalf of the left parties, because we were campaigning from 1952 onwards for the nationalization of bank, our leader, our lawyer, well-known late R.K. Garg entered into the Supreme Court, and finally the bank nationalization was there. I just want to say, today if you have to curb the black money, there are methods. Now why people are standing on the streets and criticizing it?
So why not give it a chance?
Lakhs of people on the roads. And I tell you, now the 500 rupees note is being sold. You see, what?
Why not give it a chance?
The
You have
Prime
already
Minister
ruled
is
it.
having its own word. He has said 90% use. What? No. Why I'm saying what you have done, what you are doing it. what the results you want to show. And do you think many of the even RSS, you see, some
tell me you didn't answer my question.
This will only unearth, you see, 3% of the black economy. And what is no.
You're not answering my question. The Mayavatis and Mulayams who have disproportionate assets against cases against them, can they speak out on this issue? Do you believe the likes of Mayavati and Mulayam Singh can speak out on this issue, Mr. Anjan, who themselves have disproportionate asset cases against them?
Both of my friends, Mr. Nalin Kohli and Mr. Manish Tiwari, are well-known lawyer of this country, and the matter is before the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court decide about the disproportionate of asset case. We will talk about that. We will take it, and I think they know it. And what is the point? I know who were pleading the Bhopal tragedy case, who was pleading for Jack Anderson, and all that. Let us not discuss all that. The question is this.
Yes.
The question is this. This move will check black economy. The black economy, from where it comes? The price rise. The 56 rupees pulses which was sold when Mr. Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister, and today it was selling at 160 rupees arhar tur dal. In between this and the farmer is getting only 38 rupees.
1 minute,
Who is taking this money? Why this black money is being generated? And who is pocketing it? And how to check this black money? Unless and until you control the price rise, you will not be able to check the...
Okay, you made your point. I just want to come to Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, you're seeing you're under attack from both right and from the Congress and the left. The central question is, has the BJP gone ahead with this without thinking? No, 1 minute. Without thinking it through in terms of actually whether this is a long-term solution to the black money problem, or is this a short-term solution that you've gone in because you want to do something which will have immediate impact? This is impact. This is not about long-term solutions.
No. First of all, I think everyone who generates black money is the one who's going to have a stake in saying it's going to fail. Everyone who's honest is going to always say we want a stake for it to succeed. And that's the basic point. Those who have, and I think as Mr. Jaitley put it bluntly, I think for the first time you have an honest person feeling ki hamari bhi kuch ahmiyat hai, and thank God that we are honest. So that's exactly what this fight is about. And then the question is said nobody is working on it. I don't agree with it.
First of all, I must put it on find ways out.
One minute.
Mr. Kohli, I asked you a question, you don't reply.
I am coming to that,
What is the long-term solution? What is the long-term solution to election funding, to the builder industry, all of which survive on black money? Is this going to stop overnight?
I do admit I'm not a former minister or I'm not a former MP, and I'm just an ordinary citizen, not as, the great other colleagues are there on the channel. And I don't have a bloated, inflated ego about myself or what I am. I'm no economist. But as a simple person, I can tell you, you can see the line of the clarity of thought from day one of Prime Minister Modi's government. Within no time, 72 hours, you had the SIT on the black money, which the Supreme Court wanted for 2 years. The UPA Congress slept about it. Why? Because it would have gone into black money. What needed to be done with international things happened. By 15th August, the Prime Minister announced that you will open Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana.
Have you acted against any of those with 640? Have you acted against the individuals with Swiss bank accounts? Have you acted against individuals with Swiss bank accounts? No, you are misleading people. What has the SIT done? What has the SIT actually done?
And I'm saying it, you are.
What has the SIT done?
You are asking
Please tell me what the SIT has done.
Answer. So then you are going to be guilty of misleading.
No,
I'm not. I'm trying to answer it. You asked me a question.
SIT have been acted
Mr. Sardesai, you asked me a question.
So how many people have been acted against?
But what I find is, I don't find the patience with me. I don't know why you're impatient with me. And I see no reason why you should be impatient with me.
Please go ahead.
Allow me to finish my word. Disagree with me. There's no problem. You are entitled to.
Yes.
We don't have to always agree.
Yes.
So again, I'm going back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government went out 25 million, 250 million Jan Dhan Yojana accounts have been opened. Is that not? It brought into the economy another 37,000 crores. Now you see clearly when the banking system is being expanded, at that particular time, you come in with a scheme like this. Of course, it has to be sudden. You can't have a black money scheme with advance notice, so the people who create the black money have all the time to make sure they can deposit it back.
I agree with you, it has to be sudden, but what the worry one has is that the people who actually need to be targeted have got away.
How do you say that?
Today it is the middle class and Aam Aadmi who is suffering.
If I may say so, the Congress, who is opposing it? everyone who has had a stake in probably a black money economy. The Congress party, what was 2G, what was 3G, what were all these scams? Were these scams to do hard man's work there with public funds and ensure it goes to where it belongs, the welfare of the people of India? Or were these scams struck down by no less than the Supreme Court of India
Mr. Manish
because
Tiwari,
they were mana fide?
Mr. Manish Tiwari, the central question will come.
May I, Rajdeep, respond very quickly?
Yes. Why are you opposing it without giving it a chance, particularly as your party itself does not come into this issue with clean hands? You've had ample opportunity in the past to fix the system. You did not fix it. Now you've got a Prime Minister who's trying to fix the system. Give him a chance.
Because of the simple reason that this is completely a harebrained and Orwellian scheme. Demonetization nowhere in the world, I keep repeating, has worked in order to contain a parallel economy. I've asked Mr. Kohli this question 3 times. He's not come back with an answer. Give me the name of a country,
I'll answer it.
Give me a single instance where demonetization as a strategy to control parallel economy, and now keep quiet, I heard you very patiently, has worked. Number 2, he keeps hurling these allegations of corruption. What about Mr. Bangaru Lakshman? He is possibly the only
Sir,
president
don't use
of a national
Bangaru
party
Lakshman.
who was
Sir,
caught
don't use
with a
Bangaru
camera
Lakshman
with his hand in the till.
Sir, don't use
that
Bangaru
is
Lakshman
where
as an
the
alibi.
come from.
Sir,
And
please.
number 3, what happened to those 15 lakh crores? The BJP had a task force on black money. You issued a report, 1,25 lakh crores of Indian money stashed away in bank accounts abroad. You promised to bring it back in 100 days. You promised to deposit 15 lakhs into the bank account of every Indian. What happened to all those commitments? And rather than fulfilling your electoral commitments, you come up with this harebrained scheme which has completely wrecked the Indian economy.
So Mr. Sardesai, I want to bring it on record. Only when people get agitated and don't have facts that they start increasing the use of adjectives. And Mr. Tiwari obviously is the greatest economist we have on this show. That's why he has served as the finance minister of India. And his party has used his economic ideas so eloquently that he can speak from the wisdom. He can speak from the wisdom of experience. That out there I have done it and I can speak so. So harebrained for someone who implements and no harebrained for someone who has never done it in his life.
Every Indian. Where in the world has demonetization succeeded as a strategy?
And where in the world have you had government after government of the Congress party which has created such a lot of black money in the country? Show me one other country where you have had systematic loot by a party which has been in office for 55 years and ruined the internals of the Indian economy by generating so much of scam. Show me one more example, Mr. Tiwari. Show me somewhere.
Gentlemen, your noise is not good.
That the Prime Minister of India,
Manish Tiwari and Nalin Koliwala is being okay, I think you both made your point. I have to give 30 seconds to Mr. Anjan. Mr. Anjan, the left over the years has been the one party that has always fought for cleaner political funding. BJP and Congress both have much to answer for in their past. Today, therefore, if this scheme before major elections is attempted, why not give it a chance? I have 30 seconds, final word from you, Mr. Anjan. Give it a chance.
No, why you have given much time to them. I just want to say about the political cleansing and the political, funding.
Yes.
It is the late H.D. Chaudhary, the common cause, put in a case inside Supreme Court asking all political parties to give their account. It was they said it, and it is a Supreme Court judgment. Only that our party, the CPI, has given all that from 1978 onwards, all to the Election Commission and Income Tax Department. I think every party must give it to. And at the same time, I say, now corporate funding. Why the biggest money is going to the BJP and the next is the Congress? I think the corporate funding to the political parties has to be stopped. All the political parties must
made transparent. Why should it be stopped? It should be made transparent.
I completely agree with you and endorse that suggestion.
And Mr. Rajdeep,
yes.
This political system which just creates corruption, and so now the time has come. Now the time has come to go for electoral reforms. It means that we must think about the proportional representation if we want to curb the role of money in the politics and the society. And black money is generated through the government policies. price rise, all you see, this licenses and all that, and now the corporates with their transnational corporations, allegations and alliances, they are breeding the black money.
Okay.
And this has to be curbed.
Okay.
By this,
Let's leave it
here
there.
and there some attachment.
Let's leave it there, sir.
By this
Let's leave it there, Mr. Anjan. You made your point.
Curb the, you see,
you made your
big
point, sir.
menace.
You made your point. I'm going to leave it there. I think it's very clear from this discussion that with the parliament session coming up in a few days' time, this issue is far from settled, at least politically. Thank you very much for joining us. My take: our political system has broken. Government and opposition rarely, if ever, see eye to eye on any issue. The mounting criticism of the opposition to the Narendra Modi government's move on demonetization must be seen in that context. Yes, there are flaws in the government moves, but the fact that the country wants black money to be eradicated, not a new black money apparatus to replace the old order. The question is, how many of our politicians who have benefited from the parallel economy in the past, particularly when it comes to election funding, actually want the government's move to succeed? It is time to put national interest above self-interest.